I'm crafting this world just for you, packed with details, puzzles, quests, and epic dungeons that are coming soon. Progress is speeding up, and the central area is nearly done. Stick around, I'll tell you how you can get your hands on this world, the Flak structure world in both Java and Bedrock, and all the Java schematics in just a bit. But first, let's dive in and build more of this amazing forever world. Welcome to Avomance, made for you. Welcome back. It feels like it's been a month, because it has. But that means all the world downloads are going to get refreshed by the end of this video. In fact, they're there now if you're watching it, if you want to go and get them. I don't quite know what the world's going to look like for that download because I've not started it yet, but it'll look good, I promise. I'm planning to get most of that castle done by the end, and maybe branch out a little bit more as well. And it's really daunting because there is so much to do. So I should probably stop jibber-jabbering and crack on with it. But the first thing I want to do is nothing to do with this castle, and everything to do with the boats in the harbour, because my mate the Coalclough, yeah him, has brought a really good point to my attention. And the word point is quite relevant because it seems that I've put a bow at both ends of the boats, which is really going to give the helmsman a hard time. So I reckon we need to change that, and I think it's probably not too hard. What we're going to do, we're going to need to take out from kind of here, aren't we? So let's just move that diamond block, a long one, to there, get rid of that, and take out this bit at the end and just put a kind of a stern on it. So if I get rid of that and that, then build this, no, not with those, build that up with that and that. That means that we've got a bow and a stern, and then what I can do is I can somewhere kind of make a rudder type effect on that. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I've had an idea. If I put that there, that doesn't, yeah, that waterlog, so now we kind of got that rudder effect there, and if I put that there underneath that, how does that work? No, that doesn't work, but if I then replace that bit that I just accidentally took off and put that there, that kind of makes like a rudder effect there, doesn't it? And then if I do that there and that there, and then bring this kind of across, how's that? That sort of works, doesn't it? So I need to change that on all of them, including the smaller ones. Right, I think I got all of them, so they should all now have a bow and a stern so the helmsman can steer it. You happy with that now, Cookie? And I've changed them in the schematic world as well. The old schematic and the new schematic are now available, which means I can't put it off any longer. We've got the big job to deal with. And I had a comment in the last video that said these struts were potentially a little bit too even, and maybe I should space it out with one short one, one long one, one short one, one long one. So I thought I'd see what it looked like. So I figured if I take it out from here, this level, so just get rid of that entirety of a bit there, and then bring that down, or start to bring that down straight away like that. That means I'm going to need to get rid of this, but that doesn't matter. And then pop that kind of there like that. Bring one of those in, pop that like that, that there, and that there, no, not there, there, like that. Then button this up the way the others are buttoned up. Does that look like that could work a little bit better? I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure if that's the right call. I'm going to leave that for now there, just to remind me what it looks like. I'm going to see if it grows on me. If I like it, I'll change it up and I'll go every other one, which means it'll be that one, etc. But I'm not certain. I'm going to be honest, I'm not certain. I might keep it the way it is just for now. Okay, well that's that idea put in there just for a thought, because I do listen to what you lot say. And if you've got ideas that you want to add into it, please do let me know in the comments below. It'd be really brilliant to hear from you. So the first thing I want to do is bring the outside inside, and I've done that. I've got myself a brush here, which is built up to kind of bring in most of these blocks, not all of them, but in a different ratio, and masked up so as it covers these blocks, the stone bricks, the andesite, and the cobble. And I'm going to kind of just come in and it's mixed quite nicely just to give me an effect that it can come in across the center here and then perhaps branch off in the other direction, because I need to put in a load of houses, but I don't want to just shove houses in like a grid. That's just going to look rubbish, isn't it? So I'm just going to put some of the roads in at the moment, but not all of them. Bring it to the base here, and I think the size of this is just about right, to be honest, and then come out and around again a little bit like that. But I'm not going to do all of the roads, but I'm going to keep this brush where it is, and I'm going to build up one row of houses because I don't want loads of separate houses. I kind of want houses that are all joined up, kind of a little bit terracey, if you like. So I think I'm going to try doing that. So when you come in through the gate, you need a little bit of open space, right? So you can physically get in. But the houses can start quite quickly because we've not got a big area. So if I start maybe, I don't know, around about here, and I don't know, kind of just bring my house line this way a little bit and just follow it round. I don't mind if I go over the path, that's not a problem. So it's got a relatively straight line there, but I don't want it to stay too straight. No, it's got to be on the diagonal as well, otherwise again it's going to be a little bit too gritty. So if I bring it that way and then come out there and then there, so that could be my first terraced area. If I could just grab my brush, and I'm going to need to extend that road a little bit. No, don't throw it away. A little bit out that way, I think, just to give me a little bit of room, because this is going to have to be the inside, I think, of this particular area. And if I then, so that's relatively okay, I think. So that's coming out that way, which means this has got to come out kind of this way a little bit. And then this is going to carry on following up that way. And I'll keep building this so as we have kind of a row, but then I need obviously to break it up. It's not going to be one long house. It needs to be multiple houses, so I'm going to have to give some order of separation and maybe some alleyways through it as well. So I've textured up this area. I've made it 4 high and it's all kind of smoothed out underneath. One side I've got windows, other side I've got doors, but sometimes the doors are on the other side. So there I've got a window and a door, there I've got a door and a window. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the doors from the inside all the way around, just so as we've got our doors in place like that there. And then what I want to do is I want to try and just detail it up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a schematic out of this, and then I can repost it again and then slightly change it and create another schematic, etc. So the kind of details that I want to put on obviously are things like window sills outside the windows, because you need something to put your lamps and stuff on. Not put any alleyways going through these. I think another one I might actually use this big area for an open arch so you can come through it. That might look quite nice. And I'm just going to carry on doing that. I need to make these perhaps different levels. Perhaps the ones at the end all have their roof quite low, ones in the middle will be a little bit higher, and I think that could work. So what do you reckon? In the comments, let me know what I've missed. I've put in detail in like pots and barrels, obviously shutters on the windows. I've decided not to put glass in, it just didn't feel right. I've put in fence posts instead for those windows. That kind of makes sense. I've textured it up a little bit, but not too badly. And I think it's kind of there. I've tried to make it look just a little bit rickety, a little bit rustic, but all in all, it works quite well for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a schematic of that, and I'm going to use that as my base to kind of move all the other schematics around, but we'll fiddle around with that. I've not done anything inside, and I definitely do still need to, because right now all it is one long corridor. So it's going to be separated up. I'm going to furnish it out, and I think then once I've done the schematic, we can start pasting it all over the place. I thought I'd make them trade specific, so I've tried to avoid barrels because then everybody would be a fisherman. But in here I've got a grindstone, I've got a stone cutter. In this one, on this next one, if I come around, where's the door? Okay, this one, it's a much bigger one. So in here I've got Fletcher's, we've got cartographer, look, we've got the, well, I missed 4, we've got a cauldron over there, we've got the, what's that thing called? That's called a smithing table. I've lost the plot completely. And then if we come over here, we've got another door here, and this brings you into a few blast furnaces, and I think there's one on the other side as well that I've not gone in, isn't there? Where's the one on the other side? Is it that one, or is that just going to the other one? Oh yeah, and here's the butchers. So each of them have got at least a couple in. I've got butchers, a little bit of redstone there. In fact, let's just right click so it looks like blood. And I think it's looking okay. Now, it really is time to make up these schematics, which are going to be available to you as well, so don't panic. And then we can start to build up this entire villagey town. It's not going to be that big because we're limited by the walls. And, frankly, we've got to do something about those walls as well. They're just one block thick going up and down. And I definitely want to make them maybe a little bit more robust, bring in some support structures that are going to stop them from falling over on both the inside and the outside. Lots to do. Let's crack on. So I've got the 4 schematics that I'm going to be using in this town here in the flat world. So you'll get this as well when you download it. I've got one small house that I'm going to be using to kind of fill in the gaps. I've got one slightly longer house that kind of curves round and has got a archway which we can tie up maybe horses, etc. I'll put these posts in to be able to tie horses. We've got one where the central area is a little bit bigger and we've got a couple of chimneys on it, and then we've got our original one right there. So all 4 of those schematics available to you. So I've pasted those in, and I've got a number of the archways, I've got a number of the longer houses with the chimneys, I've got a few of the first ones that I did, and I've got a few of the individual houses that I popped in as well. Now I need to put in some unique houses built from scratch. I also need to build into the walls a little bit because they're, well, a bit bland to be honest. Look like everything in the middle and nothing's around the edge. I also need to put in some extra details like lampposts and little fountains and all that kind of thing. I'm not even going to touch the top of this at the moment because I want to get this bit right first. I've also, I don't know if you noticed, put the edging all around the outside of that, and I think I'm going to stick with the long ones. I'm just not sure that shorter version works, so I'll replace that. The long one seems to work. I'm only going up as far as there and there because on this side we're going to be building up much higher and we don't really need this going around the outside. I think I know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about, but I reckon it calls for a time lapse, so it's time to lapse. Well, I'm telling you now, that took a blooming sight longer than I thought it was going to take, but I'm quite pleased with where we've got so far. It's nowhere near finished. I know that it's nowhere near finished, and there's some mistakes as well, which no doubt you have already written in the comments. Come on, be honest. You know you've written them in the comments. For example, this little market stall area on the outside is too enclosed. I need to expand it out. This is literally blocking off this side. That wouldn't be how it is. So they need to kind of go more against the walls. As opposed, oh, look, I'll have those banners back. Thank you very much. And more against the walls rather than kind of blocking it off and creating a end of the road, because that's not what it's meant to be. I'm not so sure about that. This side is a little better. This one, just by its very shape, kind of blocks it off. Maybe I need to open that out a little bit and create a more open space. I'm not entirely certain of the way we've done the walls. It certainly needs a lot more detail. We need a lot more green, and I'm actually not too bad with this gateway. It needs a lot more detail. The way that we've got that portcullis works quite nicely, and the fact it goes into the ground using those droppers. So that bit I'm fairly pleased with. Now the one problem I've got is when I come in, I start to slow down, and that's because there are so many villagers in here that I think my hamsters need more seeds in my machine. I'm not entirely certain how many villagers I've put in there, but it was a lot. Now this area is still wide open. I've got some big plans for it. I need to repeat that tower there on this side for a start, and we need to build up kind of the main quarter bit here, which is going to be quite build up, go up as far as those walls. Quite like that idea. I like the fact that I've split this up, because this little detailing pond, I think that works really well, and there's not a lot of water detail inside here, and I'm sure they would have some. However, again, there is a lot of detail to add, especially on those walls. They're quite blank behind me, aren't they? However, as a walled town, I think we've got more or less the structure that we're looking for. The houses aren't all separate like in the town on the lake, which is deliberate on the lake, but up here I wanted a more terrace. Inside we've got some quite nice detailing on every single house, obviously, otherwise, well, it won't be finished, would it? But I quite like the way we're changing it up, and we've joined up some of the different areas with little overhangs like that as well. We've got detailing like carts and bushes all the way along, although we do need more. And at the edges I've added little details like these crop farms and these kind of piles of barrels. And unfortunately, when you're working with villagers, if you use barrels in your builds, and I do recommend using barrels in your builds because they're a great detail, you end up with a gaggle of fishermen all over the place. Too many fishermen is not necessarily a bad thing, but you've got to remember, put in some other workstations as well and place the villagers down right next to those workstations. Otherwise, all you've got is a town full of fishermen. And I think I'm going to leave it right there for now. I've kind of got the idea of the detail that I want as the crenellation, but I'm not sure how that crenellation is going to change when I build up on that big platform. I need to top off all of these towers. The towers inside need some details. Those walls on the inside need loads of details. And I need to do something more with these walls on the outside as well, because I like what I've done so far, but it's not quite right. And then we need to detail up this entire front. Loads of work still to do. But I reckon that is a job for another episode, or this one's going to be 14 hours long. Now remember, if you want to download this world, the flat schematic world, plus also the schematics that are all listed there as well, you are more than welcome to do it. It's for my Redstone patrons and above, and all the details are on avomance.com. That is avomance.com. And then you get all of those free, plus a load of other worlds that I've done specifically for my patrons as well, plus entrance to my SMP that's for patrons called Avatopia, which I also record and play in as well. That is a great community. Let's call it there, but make sure you put whatever you think I've missed in the comments, or maybe you think I need to put some additional detail or take something out. I really do take what you say into consideration, and a lot of it gets added. So make sure you let me know down there. If you've not already done it, do hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit the like button if you've enjoyed the video, and share it with anybody as well. It really helps out the channel and costs you absolutely nothing. I'm going to look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.